Hello everyone, thank you for being here. This is Hadrian and welcome back to the Lord of the Scots series in Crusader Kings II. It's been a while. It's been the standard 20 days. We're entering part 3 of this series, and there are a few things, I've got a short list of things I want to talk about before we jump in and begin this part of the series proper. So if you just want to see gameplay, feel free to jump forward a few minutes, and I should be mostly done talking. So the first thing I want to address is kind of the elephant in the room. For those of you who have been watching the series from the beginning, particularly those of you who maybe came on board to the series over the past 20 episodes or so, I kind of feel like I need to apologize. And don't get me wrong, it's not like anyone has been really yelling at me in the comments or saying that this has been a crappy series. The series has had good viewership. It's been a really, really good one for the channel, and I've had a lot of positive feedback and a lot of really good constructive interaction from the people that I have invited to offer advice on a routine basis. And you guys know who you are, and you know how grateful I am to you. I've expressed it just repeatedly. But I do feel like because I was out of town, or was planning to go out of town, I guess, that is the way I should really frame it. You know, I had to record a number of the last series of episodes in advance, which completely, of course, breaks the entire aspect of interactivity that this series is based upon. You know, when I started the series, I said, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am not playing this game, this particular game, from the point of view of an expert, of someone who knows everything about it. Quite the opposite. I've played enough to kind of know my way around, and several of you, again, acknowledged that in the beginning of the series, and I appreciate that as well. But at the same time, I do not consider myself an expert, and so I said, you know what? Why don't you guys help me? Why don't we have a dialogue, and that way I can learn, and anyone else who's learning the game can also read your comments and learn how it's going. And it's been great, but because I had to record so much in advance, the content was frustrating even as I was recording it, but it was also frustrating to come back and feel like I had a backlog of 10 days of advice that was just so much to study and take in. And so it kind of threw things off, and it affected the tone of the series and the way that I presented myself in the Let's Play. And I do want to say sorry for that, because I hold myself to a pretty high standard with the content that I make. So even though you guys weren't jumping down my throat and being super critical, I do just want to acknowledge that I want to try and be better with the series going forward. We are in a very good place. We control about half of the British Isles, and we're going to be moving down. Let's see exactly how much we control of it, actually. Kingdom of Scotland, de jure, Empire of Britannia. So we control 47%. So yeah, just shy of half, and we need to control 80% of the British Isles to declare ourselves emperor. Now, we are very likely to declare ourselves the Emperor of Britannia as opposed to starting a new empire, because if I declare myself Emperor of Britannia, I have a de jure claim on all of the remaining territory that I haven't captured. So that would be a good way for me to push forward and complete the objective of the series and complete the series in general. It might be interesting to start a new empire, but it would kind of slow things down and it would almost be anticlimactic in a way. But let me not get ahead of myself. That's the first thing I wanted to address, is just that we are in a good place, and I appreciate the continually good feedback and I regret that the previous section of the series was weird. Also, some of you have, because you've given so much excellent advice, I've received a few suggestions that, you know, maybe I should do a bit of a cheat sheet and have some information written down so that some of this stuff isn't lost. And of course, that's excellent advice, and I have been doing that, and I would offer that advice to anyone watching the series as well, to kind of take notes not only on what you learn in the series, but what you learn from the comments. But I just want to let you guys know that I do plan to start incorporating that advice into cheat sheets of sort for my sake, but I also have some ideas for how I can use them on the channel, giving all due credit to those of you who have offered advice, of course, but ways that I can turn this this positive feedback loop into a really, really good thing for Crusader Kings II fans in general, so stay tuned for that. I just wanted to express appreciation for those suggestions. Also, I have Horse Lords enabled. Surprise! I received Horse Lords a little while back as a gift, and just by sheer dumb luck, I think I played through several episodes, most of maybe the last series of episodes, with it enabled, not realizing it. So once it was pointed out to me, I was like, well, I've already played with it on for several episodes. I might as well keep it on. So the content that you saw in the last couple of episodes, some of it was specific to the Horse Lords expansion. So Yeah, I'm just going to leave it on. I mean, because it's already happened, so to speak. And also, I now own Conclave and Reaper's Due. One of the best things about having the Horse Lords, having all the current expansions, by the way, but particularly the Horse Lords content pack, is look, there's my wall. That's Hadrian's wall. It's really, really cool to have these old landmarks on the map. Another big one that they added in the patch is the pyramids are now on the map when you have the Horse Lords content pack. I think it's the Horse Lords content pack, but the point is I have that. I also have Reaper's Due, and I have Conclave. However, those will remain off. And in future Let's Plays that I do in Crusader Kings II, I am open to your suggestions and your personal opinion on whether or not I should use those DLCs. It sounds like Reaper's Due is like across the board a really good one to turn on. Conclave kind of seems like it's up to you, and based on some of the things that can constrain you in your gameplay style in Conclave, because it's all about kind of making you beholden to your advisors, there's a possibility that I might leave that off in future Let's Plays. But I, again, welcome your feedback on that, just so that, you know, the content is as entertaining as possible. So there's that. And also, I just want to note there was a bug, evidently, with some characters not receiving their educational traits properly. I don't think it actually affected the series, and it has been patched very recently, about 5 or 6 days ago as of this recording. That bug was removed. So for those of you who were fretting about that, then no fretting necessary. No worries. We're good. So anyway, where do we leave off? We had a bit of a frustrating moment because we had this guy over here who was supposed to have these weak claims on Mercia, but turns out that can't be pressed, and I was very, very frustrated about this, and I was talking in the previous episode about how, oh, well, why won't it tell me when or why can't I declare this war, basically, or why is it not telling me why I can't declare this war? Well, see, there's a tooltip. I've got it up. When you point to the weak claim, it says, weak claims can only be pressed against female rulers if the claimant is male, regencies, titles already being contested in a claim or succession war, or titles the claimant is second or third in line to inherit. So in other words, what we need to do, if we want to press these weak claims, and it's a weak claim on the Petty Kingdom of Mercia, which is actually not that much, but there's also this territory, which would be advantageous to press a claim on. In order to press this claim, what we would have to do... Oh my goodness. All right, well, we actually might not really have an option here, because what I was going to say is we could try and conspire to kill the current king. Our plot power would be crap, so it probably wouldn't have worked anyway. But the idea was kill the king, and then whatever child he had that was not yet of age, there would then be a regency, and we could press that claim. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to kind of assess what our options are, and we are going to press forward, reassess the entire situation, and press anew toward the goal of controlling the British Isles. So that's the plan. And I hope you'll stick around to watch it happen, because it's probably, I would imagine it's probably going to happen within this part of the series or within the next one. It might even be that I complete this part of the series, and then, as I have done for many other series on my channel recently, how do I explain this? If I know I'm going to have less than 20 episodes in a part of a series, I will complete the series in a different time slot, because that way I don't stop alternating 20 episode complete chunks of different series in the main 2 time slots, which is just a way to kind of keep the schedule in sync and on point. So that's what we might do as well. So let's unpause things. Now, I think I had an army down here that was going to that I was using to kill some raiders that are now gone. So what I'm going to do is disband that army. And then this retinue. This was another problem. A few of you pointed out that cavalry retinues are just generally a really, really stupid idea. So let's take a second, as I remember how to control the speed in the game. The Teutonic Order. Excellent. In an effort to defend Yabgud Khanate against pagan attacks, Khan Baybars has granted the Teutonic Order the county of Kopior. The county has never been fully settled, and many of the population are still heathens. The noble gesture could help protect the endangered frontier of Yabgud Khanate, as well as further the holy war against pagans. That's interesting. Hang on. Where is that? I wish I could see where that just happened. I have no idea where that is. I have absolutely no clue, but that's an interesting turn of events. So, we've got the game running at the slow speed. Oh, look, they're back! Just in time. Okay, well, I just disbanded that army. Now I'm going to have to re-raise them. Alright, so we got to fight these guys off. Let's see. Let's raise personal and vassal levies, and this should be enough, I imagine. So what we'll do is we will select these, disband them. Same with these two. And I think I have an army up here as well. Yep, disband. Don't need you. Sorry. Did I just... I think I just disbanded my retinues. Which, if I did, that's fine, because I need to rebuild them. Oh, no, there they are. Okay. Fate smiles upon me, my wife Cecilia is pregnant. Okay. Enough with that. You are having too many babies. Calm down. I mean, it's good that the dynasty is expanding, but good lord. Princess Cecilia of Scotland requires a guardian. Okay, well, who's the best guardian for you? Okay, I guess we'll just let that person do it. All right, so we did not disband. It's not that easy to disband your retinues. But let's see if we can pause for a second and look at our retinues. So this is the reinforcement speed. Controls how much money is spent on reinforcement of retinues. So I guess there's no way for me to break this army down in particular. This is one of the retinues right here. Let's see. Yeah, relieving the commander doesn't destroy the retinue. So I guess the only way to do this would be... Okay, well, we'll leave the retinue for now. It's kind of a silly mistake that I had cavalry, but evidently everyone was just up in arms about the fact that I did cavalry. Apparently cavalry, as much as you would think, as I said when I created them, that having a balanced force where you have some cavalry is a good thing, not in Crusader Kings II land. So just note that. Skirmishers seem to be the best retinue, and there also will be some Scottish units later on that I can use to kick butt. So now we're going to pay these raiders a visit, and hopefully make them leave for a while to where we don't have to put up with their nonsense. Are these raiders? Who are you? It's the West Geatish Army. That actually doesn't look like a raiding army to me. I don't know what your deal is. Alright, so he's in Shattered Retreat now. I was very excited, by the way, to see the changes made in the most recent patch of Crusader Kings II. A number of really good changes have been made. Not only is we're about to see how fast the autosaves are compared to how they used to be when the year changes. I'm very excited to see that. All right, we need to hunt this guy down. But on top of that, you now have several options when you start a new game. You can customize... All right, here it is. Wait. That's not much faster. I mean, that's definitely faster, but it's still... I was expecting it to be just a blink. But anyway, yeah, autosaves are faster. But also you have several options that you can set. Where are you going? Oh, okay. He got back on his boat. That's annoying. Several options that you can set to customize the game. However, there's not a built-in game option for if you really just want to kind of have a really straightforward difficulty slider, which would be to give everyone a global opinion modifier. I'm shocked that that's not the case. We're going to use the retinue to kill these guys. But yeah, that option is not in the game yet, sadly. Oh, interesting. All right, so these guys are getting destroyed. Our retinue is doing a pretty good job, despite the fact that they have a weakness and I have a bonus. A son was born! Matad Weeb. That's kind of an unfortunate name. We'll let him keep it. Vassal levies raised too long. I know, I'm trying to fight raiders. Give me a break. Irminsul destroyed. As the bitter war in Saxony rages on, the armies of King Tancred II of Austrasia have captured Paderborn, the site of the great shrine of the holy tree of Irminsul. By order of the conquering king, the troops burned the holy tree and then proceeded to destroy the entire shrine. This has infuriated people of the Germanic religion everywhere. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Interesting. Macbeth says, okay, this is actually my heir. This is my grandson, who is strong and ambitious and brave and just generally wonderful. He's our heir because I was very upset the previous game because my son died, not realizing that, wait, that means Macbeth is now my heir. Like, this is an awesome character. And I was worried about the fact that he became deceitful, but as people pointed out, it's a nice intrigue bonus, and it's not really that bad of a diplomacy penalty. So these peasants we have are all mine to command like little slaves, right? You could say, that's right, child. I don't want him to gain arbitrary. Heck no. So this makes it fairly likely he's going to gain the wrath trait, but wrath is not the worst thing. It would give him additional martial. All right, he's gained proud. Actually, that was the one I would have preferred. Now he's going to gain more prestige more rapidly. Okay, now we're going to fight again. So our retinue is doing a good job with these little side victories. Excellent. So we're going to move our retinue back to the capital. And then it seems like maybe... Now, what's going on here? Why is this halfway taken over? And can I fix this? It didn't seem that I could. I was standing there previously, and there didn't seem to be anything going on. But I'll go down there again and see what's going on. All right, what is it? It's the Munsterian Revolt. All right, so evidently there's a revolt against... All right, he is my vassal. Who's revolting against him? Okay, so the Duke of Munster, right here, should normally have this title. He's revolted against the Duke of Munster. That makes sense. Also, that reminds me, I believe we were waiting perhaps to see if Crown Authority... No, Crown Authority, that's right, we had a big civil war, didn't we? We fought over that, and I won, and it was great. It's terrifying, but it was good. All right, so I don't think there's anything I can do here, but I want to make double sure. Okay, there's nothing. So let's disband these guys, and now let's slow things down for just a second. Actually, let's pause things, and let's see what our best line of attack is. It seems like my steward is still hanging out here, trying to get a claim on Durham. Do I have a claim on Durham? No, I do not. But as soon as I do have a claim on Durham, then I'll use it. But honestly, this Chancellor, not Steward, I said Steward, but Chancellor is here. This Steward is so great, I kind of want to send him back to Mercia again and keep trying at Mercia. We had him down here in Warwick for the longest time trying to fabricate a claim on the petty kingdom of Mercia, because that would give him control over so much more. But I suppose... Yeah, when you turn de jure map mode off, a claim on the petty kingdom of Mercia would be absolutely amazing, but I can't get him to do it. So for now, we're going to keep trying to just claim Durham so that we can have more of a direct connection. This is just a one county ruler, so if we can kind of take care of these one county rulers one bit at a time, maybe we can use some other methods to take over some of the larger swaths of land. For instance, marriage. We have. This is Alistair Weeb. He died. We talked about him, so he unfortunately passed on. But then Count Farquhar passed on. Hey, you go away. Had him raised for all that time. That vassal's probably pissed at me, but that's fine. So that's my next objective. But let's have a look, as I was just doing, at my children. I have Princess Maisie, who is not betrothed to anybody. We have Princess Cecilia, who is not betrothed to anybody. So let's have a look at some of these current rulers and see what kind of children they may have. Now, the heir... Now, you don't have an heir yet. However, you do have a son. Eadfrith Aethelstanson is the grandson of the current king of Mercia. So we could marry someone into... Oh, no. It wasn't, hang on. I'm thinking completely wrong. If we marry, using our female characters, then it is complete crap. You have to marry daughters. You have to marry the daughters of rulers, not sons. Sorry. I was thinking the way I used to before I picked up the series and learned so much about the game. That's what I get for putting the game down for 20 days. But let's then take a look at... Okay, it would appear that Harriswith Eadwulfsdator does not have anyone that she's connected to. However, actually, before I do a betrothal, especially because I'm at the end of this episode, I want to get your feedback on this. I don't know if I will get it in time before I record the next episode, but there's more of a chance now that I'm back in town and recording not quite as much in advance, especially not 10 episodes in advance. I'm not sure whether or not these characters would even get any titles. I know that the primary heir would get the main title, so he's going to get the Petty Kingdom of Mercia. And then let's see, the strong claims will go. I know this comment was left on the video, and I could look it up right now, mid-video if I wanted to, but I'm not sure which. It was left on the series. I don't know which episode it was left on, but it's basically the claims that you get are determined by the order of succession. So she might be a little bit too far down the line to be of any value. However, Christina Aethelstansdottir has absolutely no betrothal whatsoever. So what we're going to try and do is arrange a marriage with her, and there's no options. Why are there no options? I have several sons. Hang on, let me make sure I can look up this character again. What's her name? Christina Aethelstansdottir. So just Christina. She's in Mercia. All right, well, let's try it this way. We have our heir, Macbeth. Now, how old is he? He's 14. How old is Christina? How old are you, young lady? The granddaughter of the current king. She is 10. Okay, that's a good age difference. That's not terrible. Christine... No? Why are you not an option? Maybe there's already a pending diplomatic offer for that character? Could that be it? Hang on. Well, let's try the next child. That's not a problem. Let's try... There was another daughter. There's Sealflade. Or Sealflade. Sealflade? I don't know. Arrange a marriage. Nope. No options for you either. What the crap is going on? I don't know why I can't marry these characters. Because we're different cultural groups, maybe? Because I'm Scottish? I mean, I am Scottish, and it's awesome, so why should that be an issue? Anyway, all right, we're going to unpause things for a bit. I clearly have some things to figure out. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep fabricating claims, and as long as we have an awesome chancellor, then we could potentially fabricate claims on large swaths of land, the same way we did with some territory in Ireland earlier in the series. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit more, because there's no real need to stare too long at what's going on right now. So it looks like my retinue is fully regenerated. I have lots of titles that I can create, but I'm not going to create them. I'm just going to also pan out real quick and make sure... Okay, good. Yeah, I don't have anyone raised right where they don't need to be raised. Okay. What else are my vassals doing? Or my counselors doing? They're all doing pretty good things. Just need to wait for that claim to fabricate. Yeah, the autosave pause is not as long as it used to be. I will say that. I was expecting it to be like a blink, and so anything seems slower than a blink. But that's good. So anyway, I know that I talked a lot about some meta stuff this episode, and so it's like half talking, half gameplay. But I just wanted to make sure I covered some ground, especially since we're pretty deep into the series. So at this point, if you're watching episode 41, unless you're just jumping in on episode 41, then presumably you've watched a lot of it, you're invested, and you don't mind a discussion on more of the meta things. Hopefully that's the case, but I just wanted to make sure some stuff was laid out for the future. So anyway, this week in particular, since we're just starting the series back, I'm going to do what I can to not record too far in advance. So I'm going to record maybe two, like this particular setting, I'm just recording this episode and the next one. That's it. Partly because I don't really have time, and partly because I want to wait for people's feedback. I want to see what you guys have to say. So let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions on anything I talked about this episode, or just ways that I can manage the marriage situation. Why can't I marry the daughters? Why can't I arrange a betrothal? That's driving me absolutely bonkers. I just don't know why, but the game is not letting me. Well, hang on. Maybe there's something in a tooltip. I was ignoring tooltips before. Before I end this episode, I'm going to look. Arrange betrothal. Arrange a betrothal with the most eligible potential spouse. Okay. Christina. No. I'm guessing Christina, I guess she just already had some offers out. Or is it possible that maybe she's not, quote-unquote, on the market yet? Could that be it? I've never seen that be a thing. If they're not, to use a Pride and Prejudice term, if they're not out, if they're not eligible for, kind of social interaction in some way that I'm not aware of, then that could be it. Yes, she already has a weak claim on the Kingdom of Aquitaine right now, which I find interesting. The entire Kingdom of Aquitaine, she has a weak claim on it. It can't be inherited because it's weak, unless it's already being pressed in a war, but hey. Okay, well, I didn't see anything in the tooltip, but I will look up some additional information on that if I can. But in the meantime, in the next episode, I'm just going to see what I can do about getting some additional claims fabricated and moving further south a little bit. It's not going to be too long, I don't think, especially if we can manage to claim one of the larger swaths of land in one go. It's not going to be too long before we can actually claim the entirety of Scotland, of the British Isles, as the Empire of Britannia, and then it'll be very easy to wage wars to kind of conquer the rest, and there won't be as many strong kingdoms that can face off against us. So that's going to be fun. So stick around for that. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I upload new episodes in Lord of the Scots every day at noon Eastern Daylight Time, which is GMT-4 for those of you not in the States, and comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and of course, leave suggestions if there's anything I could be doing better, because now I can finally listen to your advice, and it's awesome. So please leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in a bit.